Have you ever found yourself consumed by anger, only to regret the words you've spoken or the actions you've taken in the heat of the moment? Imagine if there was a way to never let anger control you again. In this video, we're going to explore 5 powerful Buddhist teachings that can help you transform anger into peace. Anger is a natural emotion, but it's also one of the most destructive. It can ruin relationships, damage your health, and rob you of your inner peace. From a Buddhist perspective, anger is seen as a fire that burns within, not only harming others but also consuming you from the inside. However, Buddhism also offers profound wisdom on how to understand, manage, and ultimately overcome this fiery emotion. Today I'll be sharing 5 essential Buddhist teachings that will empower you to take control of your anger, leading to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. If you've ever struggled with anger or simply want to bring more tranquility into your life, this video is for you. Let's dive in. Number 1. Understanding the root of anger. Buddhism teaches that anger is often rooted in unmet desires and expectations. According to Buddhist philosophy, our anger typically arises when reality does not align with what we wish or expect. This disconnect between our desires and the actual events or behaviors of others creates a sense of frustration and agitation. In essence, anger is not just a reaction, but a signpost pointing to deeper unmet needs or desires. To effectively manage anger, it's crucial to develop mindful awareness of these underlying triggers. Mindfulness allows us to observe our emotions without judgment, helping us identify what is truly causing our anger. By practicing mindfulness, we can catch ourselves in the act of becoming angry and take a moment to reflect on what specific expectation or desire is being challenged. This awareness gives us the power to pause and choose a more measured response, rather than reacting impulsively. For instance, imagine you're stuck in traffic and running late for an important meeting. Your frustration quickly turns to anger as you feel your schedule slipping away. In this moment, mindfulness can help you recognize that your anger stems from an unmet desire to be on time and avoid the stress of being late. By acknowledging this trigger, you can shift your focus from the irritation of the situation to strategies for dealing with it calmly, like using the time to practice deep breathing or listen to a calming podcast. Recognizing the root of your anger helps you to address it more effectively. When you understand that your anger often arises from a place of unmet expectations, you can begin to challenge these expectations and adjust your mindset. This not only reduces the frequency and intensity of your anger, but also fosters a deeper sense of peace as you learn to accept life's imperfections and uncertainties. In summary, understanding the root of anger is the first step toward transforming it. By identifying the unmet desires and expectations that fuel your anger and practicing mindful awareness, you can manage your emotional responses more effectively. This insight allows you to respond with greater calm and composure, paving the way for a more peaceful and balanced life. Number 2. Practicing compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is not only a remedy for anger, but a powerful antidote that transforms our entire outlook on life. Compassion involves understanding and empathizing with the suffering of others, as well as extending this kindness to ourselves. When we practice compassion, we recognize the shared humanity in everyone, including ourselves, which can dissolve the barriers that anger creates. By embracing compassion, we shift our focus from judgment and frustration to understanding and kindness. One of the most effective tools for cultivating compassion is metta, or loving-kindness meditation. This practice involves repeating phrases that wish well-being and happiness for ourselves and others. By regularly engaging in metta meditation, we train our minds to respond with kindness rather than anger. This meditation helps us develop a more compassionate heart, allowing us to handle situations that trigger anger with a more balanced and empathetic approach. Incorporating compassion into daily life can start with small, intentional actions. For example, when someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of reacting with irritation, try to silently wish them well and understand that they might be dealing with their own challenges. Similarly, when you face your own shortcomings or mistakes, approach yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce feelings of anger and replace them with a sense of understanding and patience. Another practical way to practice compassion is through active listening. When someone shares their concerns or frustrations with you, listen without judgment and offer support. By validating their feelings and showing empathy, you not only foster a supportive relationship, but also practice compassion that helps diffuse any potential anger. This approach encourages open communication and reduces the likelihood of conflicts escalating into anger. In summary, practicing compassion is a transformative practice that can greatly diminish anger. By engaging in metta-meditation, incorporating compassion into daily interactions, and offering kindness to ourselves and others, we create an environment where anger has less power. Cultivating compassion helps us approach life's challenges with a calm and understanding mindset, paving the way for a more peaceful and harmonious existence. Number 3. The power of patience. In Buddhism, patience is considered a profound virtue and a powerful antidote to anger. This quality allows us to endure difficult situations without being consumed by frustration or irritation. Patience helps us cultivate a calm and steady mind, enabling us to respond to challenges with grace and wisdom rather than impulsive reactions. By developing patience, we transform our approach to life's difficulties, turning potential sources of anger into opportunities for growth and understanding. One effective practice for building patience is mindful breathing. Mindful breathing involves paying close attention to each breath, using it as an anchor to center yourself in the present moment. When faced with a situation that triggers anger, such as a frustrating delay or an irritating comment, mindful breathing can help create a space between the stimulus and your response. By focusing on your breath, you allow yourself a moment to pause and gather your thoughts, reducing the likelihood of reacting impulsively and giving you the opportunity to choose a more thoughtful response. A compelling Zen story illustrates the transformative power of patience. Once, a Zen master was walking with his disciple through a forest when they encountered a wild tiger. The disciple, gripped by fear, froze and started to panic. However, the Zen master remained calm and composed. He took slow, deliberate breaths and calmly instructed his disciple to do the same. The master's patience and composure helped the disciple regain his calm, allowing them both to carefully navigate away from the danger. This story demonstrates how patience in the face of immediate threats or challenges can lead to clarity and effective action. Incorporating patience into daily life involves making a conscious effort to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. When you encounter stressful situations, such as a long wait in a line or a disagreement with a friend, practice mindful breathing to maintain your composure. Remind yourself that patience allows you to handle situations more effectively and reduces the potential for conflict and anger. In summary, the power of patience lies in its ability to transform our response to challenging situations. By embracing the Buddhist teaching of patience, practicing mindful breathing, and reflecting on stories that illustrate its impact, we can develop a more peaceful and balanced approach to life. Patience not only helps us manage anger, but also fosters a deeper sense of inner calm and resilience. Number 4. Letting go of ego. The ego is often at the core of our anger, as it fosters a sense of entitlement and personal offense. When we perceive that our ego is threatened, whether by a slight, an injustice, or a challenge to our self-image, anger can arise as a defense mechanism. The ego creates a rigid sense of self that demands validation and control, and when reality doesn't conform to these demands, we react with frustration and anger. Understanding this connection between ego and anger is crucial in addressing and transforming our emotional responses. In Buddhism, the concept of anatta, or non-self, teaches us that the ego is an illusion rather than a fixed reality. According to Buddhist philosophy, the sense of a permanent, unchanging self is a major source of suffering and conflict. By recognizing that the ego is not a true reflection of who we are, but rather a transient and ever-changing construct, we can begin to let go of the grip it has on our emotions. This realization helps us see that many of our grievances and sources of anger are tied to the ego's need for affirmation rather than objective realities. Practicing the letting go of ego involves several practical steps. First, challenge your automatic reactions by questioning whether your anger is rooted in a personal slight or a genuine injustice. Ask yourself if the situation would bother you as much if your ego were not involved. Second, practice self-reflection to understand and address the underlying insecurities or desires that fuel your ego. By addressing these root causes, you can diminish the ego's influence over your emotional state. Finally, cultivate humility by acknowledging that everyone has their own struggles and imperfections, and that your own sense of self-importance is not necessarily shared by others. For example, if a colleague criticizes your work, your initial reaction might be one of defensiveness and anger. By applying the principle of anatta, you can recognize that the ego is reacting to protect your self-image. Instead, try to view the feedback objectively and use it as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. This shift in perspective helps you respond with less emotional intensity and more constructive engagement. In summary, letting go of the ego is a powerful way to reduce anger and foster inner peace. By understanding the role of ego in our emotional responses and practicing the Buddhist teaching of non-self, we can learn to respond more thoughtfully to situations that provoke anger. These practices help us transcend the ego's demands and approach conflicts with a greater sense of clarity and equanimity. Number 5. Embracing impermanence. In Buddhism, the concept of anicca, or impermanence, is central to understanding the nature of existence. Anicca teaches us that all things, including our emotions and circumstances, are in constant flux and are never permanent. By recognizing that everything is transient, we can develop a more balanced perspective on the events that trigger our anger. When we understand that difficult situations and emotions are temporary, it becomes easier to manage our reactions and reduce the intensity of our anger. Embracing the principle of impermanence involves shifting our perspective from attachment to acceptance. Often, anger arises from our attachment to certain outcomes, expectations, or experiences. When these attachments are disrupted, we experience frustration and anger. By accepting that change is a natural part of life and that no state, whether good or bad, lasts forever, we can learn to respond with greater equanimity. This acceptance allows us to approach challenges with a more flexible mindset, reducing the likelihood of anger taking hold. A practical way to incorporate the concept of impermanence into your daily life is through regular reflection. Set aside a few moments each day to contemplate the transient nature of your experiences and emotions. Remind yourself that feelings of anger, like all emotions, are temporary and will pass. This practice helps to cultivate a mindset that is less reactive and more accepting of life's fluctuations, fostering a deeper sense of inner peace. For instance, if you face a frustrating situation, such as a missed opportunity or a disagreement, remind yourself that this moment is fleeting and will eventually give way to new experiences. By reflecting on the impermanence of your current situation, you can lessen its emotional impact and approach it with a calmer, more detached perspective. This shift in how you view challenges helps prevent anger from escalating and encourages a more serene response. In summary, embracing impermanence is a powerful tool for managing anger and maintaining inner peace. By understanding the transient nature of all things, shifting from attachment to acceptance, and incorporating daily reflections on impermanence, you can cultivate a more peaceful and resilient mindset. This practice helps you navigate life's inevitable changes with greater ease and reduces the emotional turbulence that often accompanies anger. Conclusion. Incorporating these 5 Buddhist teachings, understanding the root of anger, practicing compassion, embracing patience, letting go of ego, and recognizing impermanence, can profoundly transform how we handle anger. By applying these principles, you can cultivate a more peaceful and balanced mindset, turning anger into an opportunity for growth and understanding. Remember, the journey to overcoming anger is ongoing, but with these insights, you're well equipped to respond with greater calm and wisdom. Thank you for watching, and may you find tranquility and compassion in every moment.